So now looking at my lab, I have georeferences topographic map, which is great. And now I want to georeference my field collected map, the Laguna Atlas. So if I go here and zoom to layer on it, I will see what we have going on here. We have Laguna Road, we have Southern Highway, and this is a map that was made obviously in the field. You can see private landowners with mechanical rice farming, expanded to community land, different things that were made. There's a scale bar north arrow, and we want to georeference this. And once this is georeferenced, we can do things maybe like digitize it later. With editor toolbar, we can actually draw these polygons. But so if I go to my Laguna topo, and I pay attention to this road here, Laguna. So I pay attention to this road here. You can see here there's a road for Southern Highway and the Laguna Road. So I'm going to zoom to layer on my topo map, and I can see here that there's something going on around here. And there's Laguna. You can see it is Laguna. And then there's the Southern Highway. So you can kind of see that that map is, there's two things that we can visually see. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, is do our georeferencing fit to display. And if we check this out, kind of get an idea of how big this is, the scale, we can see that this is, we can visually see how big it is. And we go back over to the Laguna topo, zoom to layer, we can kind of get that same scale on the screen. So I think it's a little bit more zoomed out than that. I'm going to put in 35,000, and I think that's about right. So I'm going to do my georeferencing and fit to display. Oh, wrong. I never changed my target layer. So don't worry, just if you switch your target layer without doing update georeferencing, you won't lose your georeferencing information. So make sure to switch your target layer to the Laguna Atlas. And you see, since I switched back, since I switched my target layer without doing update georeferencing, it went back to using the actual shape file, the world file that we've used. So then we go back here and put 35,000. And Laguna Atlas is my target, so make sure you set this target, georeferencing, fit to display. So you can kind of see now that I put that in its spot. I can zoom out here to maybe 100,000 and start seeing what's going on. And you can see I can move this around again with the pan tool and see where Laguna and the highway and so forth are intersecting. What I like doing with georeferencing is I like using this pan tool to click first on the intersection of the highway and the road, and then dragging it over to where it is. And you can see when I do that and I move the little pan tool hand to that exact spot too, it's going to place it right on the spot. So that makes making my first control point pretty easy, because I can just zoom in, choose my control point on the image I want to georeference, and then I can turn off my image I want to georeference and see the image I'm georeferencing to. And I remember that was the intersection, and I just come over here and then click a second time where the roads are intersecting, and that's going to place my image as a control point there and make those points align. So now I've already chosen my first control point, so I can go back, zoom to my layer of Laguna Atlas, and I can see here the cities here. If I turn this off again, I can see that Laguna is here, right? And I can see this little bend in the road. So I think I'm going to use that bend in the road to georeference these two images. So if I zoom back here again, zoom in on this area, I zoom, there's the road, the bend in the road I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my first control point on my image I'm trying to reference. So I chose it on the bend on the road, and then I turn off, and then I choose the reference image. So now that I put in two control points, my image has been scaled and rotated to its position. So it should start coming out pretty well where things are supposed to be. So if I look now by right clicking zoom into layer over the entire area, I can start turning on and off my layer to find things that correspond. once I can find stuff that corresponds, I can use that to georeference the image. So if I see here, there's a lake over here that's been drawn, and here also the lake is on the topo map. So I'm going to go ahead and take that lake. So I'm going to zoom to layer, and I can see here the lake and the lake. What I'm going to do, what I like doing, is taking the what I feel the center is, because I think that it's more accurate. So I'm going to go in this circular area and take the center of it. Then I'm going to turn this off, and then look at the circular area again and take what I think is the center again. And then I turn that on, and I can see that stuff is starting to fall even more in line. Another thing that we can use, again, remember you want to spread out your points. I have one here, one here, one here. I might want to use a river down here. So if I zoom in on this river, I can see a bend in the river here and a bend here. So that might be a good one. So I'm going to take the center of the bend, turn it off, and take the center of the bend here, and turn it on. So I can start seeing things are starting to fall into place. Zoom back to layer, and you can see now I have a point here, a point here, here, here. We need a fifth point for us to start having a trust in the residual error we're getting, and we can kind of see by turning on and off and looking around, maybe we can find a fifth point. So we see that there's a farmer's road going like this, and then another road intersecting over here. Maybe that might be a good spot. Another option might be another bend in the river up here, which I'm liking the bend in the river because it seems more accurately drawn. So I'm going to take this point, turn it off, and come back over here and take the center again, turn it on. I like taking centers because sometimes rivers are going to be represented differently in different widths, but usually the center lines are pretty accurate. So zoom to layer, everything's starting to look georeferenced. I want to check out my link table to check my error, and I can see I have a 33 meter error, which is pretty high, honestly, but for what we're georeferencing, I think it's okay. One thing that we can also do is look at the effects toolbar. By right clicking, of course, you can bring up your toolbars, and if I choose Laguna Atlas, I can play with transparency levels, and we can make it transparent and try to see if things seem like they're lining up well. I'm liking the way it's lining up, so I'm happy with my map. So I'm going to just go ahead and reduce its, take the transparency back down to 0, and then I'm going to say georeferencing, update georeferencing. And again, now if we go back to our file explorer, we'll see here that now Laguna Atlas has a JGW, a world file. So that's what we've just created. For what you're going to turn in, you should turn in a layout mode of something that shows Laguna Atlas and shows the topographic map that's georeferenced to. And so then we can see that it's been georeferenced. One thing you can also do is play with the effects toolbar to make it semi-transparent, to make it even easier to see. Maybe drop it down to 18%. It's where you can start seeing backgrounds popping through, and then just go ahead and export that out as a PDF and email it. So that's the basics of georeferencing.